All right. Welcome to part 4 of the UGEARS Hurdy-Gurdy assembly. First things first, I have some housekeeping to do. While off camera, I played with this guy a little bit, aligned the flywheel a bit. I also took a impact driver with a socket end and just kind of put it on this gear and ran it a bit. And it really, it was smooth before, but there was quite a bit of resistance. But now, there's even less resistance. It's pretty nice. I also bent the blade on my hobby knife last time, and in the process of trying to fix it, shattered the blade, so my cheapo hobby knife is no more. So, ran to the store, picked up a new one, and some spare blades this time. And hopefully this will work a lot better if I can get it open. I'm no expert on these hobby knives, but I did buy the nicer one. Not sure if it's actually worth it or not. We shall see. Into the trash. Hey, I've got 2 viewers. But my viewer list has not updated. Thanks, Twitch. But this one actually has a blade protector so I can stop stabbing myself when I reach for a pencil in my container. Very excited about that. Even has a little gold-colored knurled adjustment ring. Nice thing about this one that I like is that on my old one, the piece that actually holds the blade is plastic. Had a lot of flex in it. It's a wimpy handle. And the new one has a longer, beefier handle, and it's actually metal that holds it in place. It's aluminum, but it's more stiff than plastic. Another thing I did while away was I added another camera. Haven't gotten the white balance quite how I like it. This is a little bit too greeny yellow for me. I've turned the shutter down a bit, but that helps retain some detail. So when I show this stuff off, there's a lot less glare. There's some unevenness in the sensor. I'm not real happy with this camera. But it will help with certain details of the stream. Switching back to the webcam. And let's just pick up a little bit, organize a little bit before we get started. Take out my spare blades. 26, 27, 98, 57, 39, 8, 38, 43. Dowel over there. A little bit of cleanup will do a lot just to make my life a little bit easier. See if I can show off on the scraps on the new camera. See if it'll show the detail on these teeth. This is the scrap piece. And you can kind of see it, but to hold it close enough to where you get the detail. Trying to hold it over my shirt. Yeah, you could see more detail there. Kind of see those serrated teeth. And let's see here. Back to external camera. What else has gone on? Not a whole lot. Went to work, came back from work, went to work again, came back from work again. Day in, day out grind. So, we got all the side ribs on. Works. I figured out what this little flippy piece is. It's actually what the strings attached to. We've got the two holes here, and they line up with the notches with the cam adjusters so that I can, I guess, adjust how tightly these strings engage the flywheel. I don't know if that adjusts volume, if it turns things on or off, or what. We'll find out when it comes time to play with it. So page 18. Almost halfway through the manual before I look at anything else. There's a couple pages of music. They've got some QR codes for, I'm guessing, tuning videos. How to make sure things run, or the strings run accordingly. Oh, and it includes a stand. I didn't know that. So, we have the next page, which looks like we're putting together a bunch of the little pieces that you slide through the neck to engage the different notes. Not sure what you would call those. Keys, I guess? I need 5, 6, and 8. This is 6. So few pieces left on 2. There's only really 2 pieces left on 2. Eight and 5. I guess I'm so used to picking up these empty pieces that 5 and 8, which still have most of them, feel rather heavy. Go ahead, put this guy out of the way. And these are 58, 59. That's these pieces here. There we go. Kinda looks like a Triclops smiling at the top here. Oh, and they're numbered. Interesting. So let's test out this new knife, see how good it is. Blade's a bit thicker. Takes a little bit more force. Should have bought a kit with the chisel-tipped knife. Live and learn. Two viewers, yet again. Hello, welcome to the stream. So these pieces, you know, the keys for the notes, all have numbers on them. And the matching other halves of the keys also show that. Make sure I have OBS pulled up so I can verify this looks good on camera. Yeah. So 3, 4, 2, 1, 5, 6. And we shall put the other half on. Actually, panel 6, which is this guy, I can put back over here. That's nice. The laser cut lines on this are so tight that it's just pulling the blade out of the knife. It does that too much more. I might try the old handle, see if that plastic holds it any better. I mean, that's tight. Maybe the plastic is better. Maybe I just need to take some sandpaper and scuff up the inside of the handle so it grips better. Maybe just take some thinner or something to the blade to remove the protective oil. Try the old handle. See if that works better. That is if I can even get the blade into it. Yeah, this handle's nowhere near as nice. I feel the handle flex. Yeah, that just makes me nervous. Last thing I need is a sharp shard of a blade flying back at me. Hit me in the eye or something, knowing my luck. Go ahead and pop some of these out, see if that makes it any easier. Does seem to pinch less. Good thing I designed this workbench to have a replaceable top. It's gotten nice and marked up over the years. But still pulled the blade out. I'll mess with that in a minute. Flip these around so I keep them in order. 58s, 59s. I honestly don't see any difference between the two. And I need 6 of these little guys. The other half made Twitch affiliate status yesterday. Oh wow. This cuts a lot better than the old one for this. So she's having a celebratory stream right now. She's gonna be up for quite some time playing vidya games. But I'm honestly very happy for her. She's been going through a rough patch, and streaming has given her a renewed, wouldn't say sense of worth, more of a new motivation to keep her busy. And occupy her mind and time while things are less than ideal. Because that's a big reason I like doing woodworking and music and stuff. It's lets you unplug from problems and do other things. Instead of wasting all your energy worrying about 1,000,002 things, you can waste your energy doing something you enjoy, which is much more worth it in my book. I don't know about you, but I'd rather be doing something I enjoy when I'm wasting my time. Okay, so according to this, you don't stack them with the numbers out on both sides. You stack them with the numbers both facing the same way. So one on top, one on top. And the only difference I see between these two guys, let me switch to the other camera so you can see, is up here on the top. Yeah, I've got to totally fix this. On this guy, the bottom line doesn't touch the hole, and on the top one, they do. Stack them, put the little wedge in. I guess that top hole is a different size. Yeah, just ever so slightly to hold things together. Oh, it's still will wiggle this away. So hopefully that will take care of it. And then we wax the sides when we're done. Yeehaw. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6. If I can count. It's been a long week. Not really a bad week, just a busy week. Tomorrow's Thursday, and a perfect opportunity to wrap some things up that have been on my radar for a month or more. And get them off my plate. I'm honestly looking forward to it. Next page is the start of the assembly of the neck. Maybe another stream or two. I'll be wrapping things up. Maybe. We shall see. So, grab the wax. And I just realized my headset died on me. How wonderful. Didn't miss much, me rambling about paste wax a lot. Guess it helps if I don't mute the headset. Basically, putting paste wax on these before I pop them out. Talking a lot about paste wax on, you know, furniture, putting it on top of polyurethane and other pieces. And there's that scrap. And they say wax the teeth of the gears. Okay, this is not working. How can I make this work? Heat it up with a little flame. See if this wax will hold together better that way. Wax the teeth of the gears. I think what I'll do off camera later on is either make a mold or find something I can use as a mold, completely melt this wax into it, break the mold, and use it for future assembly. Of course, I could dump the gear in paste wax and just leave clumps of paste wax on it and work that way. But why would I do that? That just seems silly. Oh, I've got these little gears to deal with. Of course, I could just go and grab a candle. It's more or less the same as this wax. Streaming for 1 hour. Kind of finding working on this an hour and a half at a time is kind of a nice sweet spot. Lets me get a bit done and not kill too much time on it for one evening. Let me pull this up and show it to you. These axles are kind of cool because they've got a little design element to them. Little dress-up element with the laser cutting. But they also work as kind of a spring load for... Yeah, it's not working well on that camera. Let's switch to the other. Yeah, I've got to fix the focal length on this thing. The two outer slots there will more or less work as springs for when I push these into these gears. Just kind of keep it tight. Make the hole in the gear just ever so slightly undersized. So, wow, that spins pretty decently. Switch back. And now we are on to the next page. Looks like the beginnings of neck assembly, if you ask me. Of course, I could be completely off my rocker on that. Because these big long pieces are definitely for the neck. Yeah. But that's not what we're working with. We're working with panels 5 and 6. This is 5, but it's not those pieces. There's 8 and there's 6. Actually, there's these two shorter pieces here. Maybe those are the neck and these... Oh, you know what these are? These are the base. Okay. No, that can't be the base because these are the slots for the keys. So maybe the neck has some midsection supports. So I need this one. 64 and 65. They look like they're just mirror images of each other. But it says use this one, so that's what we're gonna do. Again, blade doesn't go, sharp side doesn't go into the grain, it goes across the grain so you don't cut into the piece you're trying to remove. Okay. Then I've got some more of these to cut out. Looks like I need 3 of them, which should be loads of fun. If I remember right, these guys kind of held each other in place a bit. I might be able to cut just one. Probably take the gloves off and have an easier time of it. Also give my hands a break. Got those, and then on here, we've got 4 different pieces we're going to be pulling out. We've got 76, which is this guy here, henceforth known as the vulture head. And then we've got this piece, helps if I put it in frame, doesn't it? This piece, and this piece. So we'll just start from one end. And go from there. Do kind of feel silly about not noticing my mic being off earlier. Sorry about that. But live and learn. You just missed me rambling about paste wax. How I use it on top of polyurethane or with varnish or with gosh, I can't even remember the name of it right now. Shellac. Just gives that top coat a nice sheen and a tiny added layer of protection on top. I honestly prefer using it on bare wood over on top of a finish just because it helps you retain that natural quality of the wood a lot better. And I've got the vulture head to cut out. One, two, buckle my shoe. 3, 4. Close the door. These are all 73. They all have little arrows on them. Wonder if there's a reason for that. There is. They are ever so slightly asymmetrical. So these guys have an arrow on one end, but not on the other. And take this guy, says wax the holes. Okay, so I need to wax these holes with this pathetic little lump of wax. And these go through, I hold it like this, take the arrow, put it through the hole with the arrow. They don't really stay in place rigidly. Don't really have any friction to fit. So I'm guessing the friction fit comes into play at the end of the assembly. Oh, or by putting these in. We flip it around and in the hole. Oh, so this slides through here. Then you take one of these guys and put it through there, and that'll retain it in place. Make sure you push them in all the way. course, I probably should have started with the bottom one because that would have been easier. Oh, well, you go in from the bottom on this. Now hold on a second before I push this through. These do have a top and a bottom to them. Yeah, and that eliminates the wobble. So there is that. Move the knife so I don't stab myself. And my little vulture head. Flip it around this way. It goes in middle of this bottom piece. We look at it here. You've got your curly Q, your spiral. This is a bottom piece here. The eye of the vulture lines up with this hole here. Getting that beacon's kind of tough. But it wiggles in place. It looks like the eye of the vulture is actually a little bit bigger than the hole in the top of the neck piece. So let's see what we have going on next. Then we add one of these guys to this hole here. So it'll be easier for me to work from the other camera. So we've got this hole here, this gear here. Take the gear, add it right there. Yeah, that paste wax gives it enough lube. It'll be fine. And on to the next page. For this, we will need the other neck piece. 3 more of these guys. And one funky little piece, which we'll look at in a bit. We'll start by cutting this guy off and rotating the chair so I'm actually sitting square on it. See if that's all of it. Well, that one didn't get cut. That makes it come out quite a bit easier. Have 3 of these. Pop them out. Out. Set him off to the side. And that is panel 5. It's this little rocket ship here. 75. Fragile pieces on this guy. Thankfully, there's no tabs on them. So if there's no tabs on the fragile bits, a lot less likely to break. Bada boom. Clean up the sides a little. All right. And this says we need to take one of these. And we've got the 2 gear sizes. Switch back to the other camera. Find myself using it more, just because of the clarity it gives. And it says we take this smaller gear. And it will actually go into this tiny hole right here with the small gear. And it will engage the gear that we put in on the last page. That actually turns pretty nicely. So, oh no. Pick that up in a minute. Then we slide this on and it'll lock in place. Having these 2 together will actually help align everything. Move the axles a bit of the gears so they line up with the holes correctly. Squeeze it together. Can't squeeze it too far because these cross supports will actually prevent it from going too far. Then we put these little retention clips, wedges, whatever you want to call them, in place. Of course, this didn't say to wax the axle holes on this piece. Like an oversight to me, but I'll follow the instructions. It's not like I can't take it apart. And I'll work this gear a bit. Yeah, the more I work it, the easier it becomes to turn. And then we come to this piece. It says hold it like this, and we've got a big key here, or big slot here. Goes through if I can get a good angle. Not really. So it goes through this slot, through the back of the vulture head as I turn it, and out the slot on the other side right here. And all these wedges just kind of lock it in place. But unfortunately, see if there's anything I can do to kind of space that vulture head. Because what's happening is I'm pushing this piece through, and this center piece, the vulture head as I call it, wants to push off to the side. It's actually skewed right now. If I take a couple pieces of scrap, put it on the side opposite of what I'm inserting into, it'll kind of keep that vulture head straight. Yeah, and that worked perfectly. So that when I pushed it through, this piece didn't just go crooked over there. It's actually not all the way in, but it's close enough that, well, there's not enough retention in this piece to really hold it. And they actually show a picture to make sure you know to keep that correct. Then next page, we've got two more of these guys. Working through quite a few of them now. There's a couple. Those, again, boards 5 and 6. So here's 5. What do I need off of 5? We'll call this one a chicken head. Yeah, this camera. Part number 77. Right next to where the vulture head was. Maybe it's just a vulture that's looking up. Either way, it's the part we need. Pop that out. This piece is fancy looking. 78 here. Then on 6. Oh, part number 85. This is actually a pretty cool looking piece. It has holes in it for, 2 holes here, 2 holes here for strings. This must be a somewhat reasonably important piece. So we start off with one piece supporting that spaceship piece from the last page. Goes up from the bottom. Got the chicken head. Okay, so I hold it like this. Goes forward like that. So for you guys, it's got a circle hole and a square hole. And we just put it into not the outermost hole, but the middle hole here. Other camera would work better for that. So we've got two holes here. We've got an outer one, an inner one. This goes into the inner hole like so. Don't force it too much, don't hammer on it, don't beat on it, just wiggle it in place. And it will fit in place like so. I bet you there's going to be another piece similar to that spaceship that goes through this way. Oh, guess what? This goes through that way. So, in order to do this correctly, I'm going to grab two scrap pieces just to keep everything spaced. And push it through like so. See, I've got my scraps here, just kind of supporting this piece so it doesn't get too far twisted. And push it through a bit, hold it there. It ends up looking like that. And then of course, another wedge that goes in the inner hole just to keep everything in place. That is, if I can get said wedge to squeeze into such a tiny hole. If you have large fingers, this step might be difficult. I mean, my skinny piano fingers are honestly wider than this gap. And then the next step, we look at where the holes go. Goes like this. We've got these notches on the top here. Make sure the holes go to this side. And you just kind of put it on there. I might actually tap these on gently with the wooden hammer, which is now on the floor. While I'm thinking of it, knife. Make sure you get it lined up. Tap it like so. And it's on. I mean, that's not fallen off. And then you set it down like that and you're done with the page. At 1:30, let's see what the next page looks like. And we're actually getting into using of the rubber bands, a lot of waxing. So I'm going to have to come up with a solution to deal with the wax because this thing is just falling apart in my hand. Don't know if it's remelting it or just grabbing a candle or what. but there are a ton of pieces to cut out, put in place. And this will actually go into the front. So yeah, this is the middle of the neck. Like that. Looks almost like a ship. Like so. Just to give you another angle with some brighter lighting. But this step is quite a bit involved with a lot of tiny pieces and a lot of waxing. But we're deep into neck assembly now. So I'm going to save that for another day. I'm going to stop the stream and figure out what to do with this tiny little piece of wax. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.